Coming up on LEX 18 News at 11.
He leaves a major void in so many lives that just cannot be replaced.
Friends remember a man killed this morning in a Madison County shooting that sent another man to the hospital and 3 people to jail.
A Madison County house fire could be suspicious. We'll tell you why coming up.
And get a look at what the so-called Nike hat bandit did just minutes after hitting a Lexington bank before continuing his series of robberies.
With coverage you can count on, this is LEX 18 News at 11.
Friends are sharing their memories of the victim of a fatal double shooting that sparked a manhunt across Kentucky. That's tonight's LEX 18 Big Story at 11. Good evening, I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Kevin Christopher. Thanks for joining us at 11. It all began just after 7 this morning in Berea. 2 people were shot at an apartment on Chestnut Street, forcing lockdowns at several Madison County schools. It ended several hours later and more than 100 miles away when police arrested the suspect, Matthew Denholm, on Hurstbourne Parkway in Louisville. Police say state police had tracked Denholm's cell phone there. Police spotted his car and tried to stop him, but they say he kept driving until more officers joined in. That's when 2 passengers, Denholm's brother Ryan and Sherry Bratton, jumped out. But Denholm stayed in the car for several minutes until finally surrendering. Tonight, we're learning more about this morning's victims. 25-year-old Zachary Flower, who was killed, and his roommate, who friends say is Kevin Price, now recovering at UK Hospital. LEX 18's Jackie Congedo spoke with their friends and family, and she's here to pick up the big story from there.
Kevin, friends say Flower and Price were new roommates and best friends. Flower, an Army vet who friends say got into music during his deployment. Price, an aspiring rap artist. The 2 performed together often, even had some songs on the radio, but more memorable than their music, friends say, was their generosity and love for people. That continues the LEX 18 Big Story at 11. Zachary Flower, the oldest of 11 kids.
Everywhere he went, he did well.
His dad tells LEX 18 an outstanding student who started with 3rd-year credit at Cedarville College in Ohio on full scholarship, then transferred to UK where he joined ROTC and deployed to Iraq for a year before returning to earn his degree in business and natural resources and conservation.
He was a wonderful young man, and he served his country, and he did that because that was in his heart, that's what he felt like he wanted to do.
And when he got back, he turned to music. Friends say working 2 jobs on the side to turn the passion into a career. Kevin Price was doing the same. His latest gig, a show for charity in just under 2 weeks at Two Keys Tavern.
He's the kind of guy that would, walk someone across the street or hold the door for you. Just a great person.
The 2 became friends, then roommates in Berea. This morning, their apartment became a murder scene. Flower shot dead. Friends say Price was injured.
He leaves a major void in so many lives that just cannot be replaced.
Still in shock herself, Flower's former roommate is having to Facebook some of his ROTC friends still serving abroad to let them know what happened.
I just wish I could call him. I just said, call me as soon as you can. Flower's gone.
Still wondering herself how a man described as a peacemaker met such a terrible fate.
I can't even begin to think of who could do something like this to him or why.
There's no word at this hour about Price's condition. Funeral services for Flower will be held in Sabina, Ohio at Littleton's funeral home. Those plans are still being finalized. Kevin, back to you.
Jeffersontown police say Denholm and the other 2 suspects are spending the night in facilities there. They will go before a Louisville judge tomorrow morning before being transferred back to Madison County. And we're learning more about Matthew Denholm's personal and military background.
Denholm grew up in South Dakota and joined the military after graduation. That's according to Denholm's uncle, former U.S. Congressman Frank Denholm. The former congressman spoke to LEX 18 by phone, explaining that his nephew was responsible for disarming roadside explosives. Matthew Denholm served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Frank Denholm says his nephew was honorably discharged a few years ago and that the last time he saw Matthew, there were no signs of instability.
And now, Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck and LEX 18 Storm Tracker weather.
Warm and kind of humid night out there. Some folks now dealing with rain again. Yeah, big surprise there. Let's go and show you the Max Track Live Doppler. And actually, some of this rain's coming down at a pretty decent clip. It's running in a fairly narrow band, about 20-25 miles wide, that stretches from Louisville on the northwest toward, say, Hindman. But you see the heavier rain in the areas of yellow, orange, and red. This is running from northern Mercer County through southern Woodford County, almost all of Jessamine County, from Wilma over to Nicholasville, then it arcs down into Madison County. Also some rain in southern and western parts of Fayette County, and also right down US 60 from Versailles Road to Winchester Road. You've got Irvin over there in Estill County, Beattyville, Boonville, still seeing some rain, and that continues then off more to the east, all the way out there toward Jackson and Hindman. Bigger picture. Yeah, there's our little narrow area of rain. You see its big brother to the southwest. That's what's coming in for tomorrow. Look at the spread in temperatures. Northern Kentucky, Covington's at 48. Almost everybody else right around 60. It's 59 right now in Lexington. We'll drop a degree or two with rain. Oh, and yeah, a lot of it. And the possibility of strong thunderstorms, too. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Tomorrow a day to be weather aware, huh?
Tomorrow afternoon, late in the day. Yep.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Now to a developing story in Madison County, where firefighters are investigating a fire that destroyed a vacant Richmond house. LEX 18's Jennifer Hoff explains why crews say it's suspicious.
The fire chief said there was no electricity, no natural gas running into the vacant home when it caught fire, which leads him to believe it could be suspicious. Arson investigators will have to make that determination after they look over the home on Estill Avenue off of Main Street. And while Chief Buzzy Campbell said that house was empty, there is evidence that people had been in there. Now, this fire started about 8:30, but only took crews a couple minutes to get here and just as quickly to put it out.
From training scenarios that we do, we know what a defensive mode is. We go into defensive. We don't go inside the house. We put the fire out from outside where everybody's safe.
The chief says the homeowner has also been notified. He is on scene here with the fire crews who do have parts of Estill Avenue blocked off. We are covering the news in Madison County from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Now back to you.
No one was hurt. 2 people are dead following a crash in eastern Kentucky.
West Liberty police say wet roads may have contributed to the crash on US 460 in Morgan County. Police say 42-year-old Christine Collier was heading east in a small pickup when she may have hydroplaned, lost control, and was T-boned on the passenger side. Police say a car driven by 80-year-old Willie Lewis was the driver of the oncoming car that collided with Collier. Both victims were from Morgan County and both died soon after that wreck. Investigators say wet roads were a factor in a crash in Laurel County that killed a Clay County man. It happened at 11:30 this morning on East Laurel Road at Mary Dell Road. The coroner says 28-year-old Boyd Woods died when the van he was in slid sideways and hit a truck. Woods died at the scene. The driver of the van, 45-year-old Melody Woods, and another passenger, Josh Dakota, both from Clay County, were taken to the hospital with injuries. The driver of the truck, Kenny Robinson of Laurel County, wasn't injured.
Police in Laurel County say a school bus pulled out in front of a car this afternoon, causing a crash that sent 3 people to the hospital. It happened at the intersection of Kentucky 30 and Haley Ridge Road just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. The sheriff's department says the bus pulled into the path of the red car, causing the car to slam into the right side of the bus. We're told there were about 60 students on board the bus. One was taken to a local hospital to be checked out. The driver of the car, 22-year-old Audra Turner, and her passenger, 45-year-old Debbie Turner, also went to the hospital as a precaution. A suspected bank robber who police say hit 2 Central Kentucky banks has popped up in video in what's believed to be his 10th bank robbery in less than a month.
This as Lexington police released new video showing the minutes after he held up the Fifth Third branch in Hamburg. Take a look at this surveillance video. In it, you can see the so-called Nike hat bandit throw away the dye-stained cash at nearby Walgreens. It's the first time we've seen the man without that signature Nike hat. The man has robbed 10 banks in 6 states in nearly 3 weeks, the most recent on Friday in Columbia, South Carolina. In each, he hands the teller a note, then gets away in a silver car. So far, no one has been hurt in any of those robberies.
Jury selection in the murder trial of the Taylor County woman who's accused of killing her police officer husband is set to begin next Monday. Officials say they expect the Tanya Ford trial to begin Tuesday. Police say she shot and killed her husband, Lebanon police officer David Ford, back in 2009. In August, prosecutors delayed the trial because of new evidence. The Warren County woman accused of killing a pregnant woman and taking her baby likely won't go to trial for a year. Police say back in April, Kathy Coy killed 21-year-old Jamie Stice and cut her baby from her body. Investigators say Coy drove to a friend's house and claimed she'd given birth. Police say Coy later led them to Stice's body. Coy has pleaded not guilty to murder and other charges. A trial date has not yet been set.
Health officials in Clark County are trying to find a dog that bit a teenager November 11th at a Winchester park. It happened near Arlington Road near Lindbergh Avenue. The 17-year-old victim says she was bitten by a small black dog with white paws and long fluffy hair resembling a Pekingese. The dog had an underbite and was about a foot tall. The teenager says she's had 4 of 6 rabies shots, but if that dog is found, she may not have to have the remaining 2.
The Laurel County School Superintendent made his first court appearance this morning after a weekend arrest for DUI.
Watch what David Young told the judge in less than 10 minutes on LEX 18 News at 11. And a little later, police say they've stopped a terror plot aimed at New York City.
And now, Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck and LEX 18 Storm Tracker weather.
The rain just keeps coming. I mean, this is weather that a duck would love. The rain is coming by the bucket load. We've got another big batch coming in tomorrow. But the good news, as we approach your Thanksgiving holiday, things will be getting better. Let's show what's going on. Max Track Live Doppler now, the latest batch of rain. This developed about an hour and a half ago, and it's slowly pushing northward. It's running from Knott County through Breathitt County, Lee into Estill, Madison, Clark, now getting into the southern half of Fayette County. Heaviest rain now running from Nicholasville to about Nonesuch over in Woodford County. That continues then all the way back to Louisville. There is a warm front just south of that line, and it is slowly working its way northward, and it will continue doing so, and it's going to be reinforced as we go through the night. So as you're planning ahead, tomorrow morning there'll be rain in the area, and that rain may come down at a pretty decent clip. Might be a little bit of a lull middle of the day. Some folks in southern Kentucky may even see just a little hint of some sun. Don't expect to see much of that. Look at the nice temperature jump into the mid-60s by lunchtime. Thunderstorms will become increasingly likely later in the day tomorrow and tomorrow evening. Some of those could be strong, perhaps severe. And you see how warm we get up to around 70. We get a whole lot cooler after that. Rainfall since it started yesterday. Just under an inch in Lexington. You see some of the pretty impressive rain totals again, and we're just kind of getting this next system started because it never rains just a little anymore. It's always a bunch. And with the rain we've seen up until today, where we are for Lexington's yearly rainfall total, we're at 57.4. Basically 11th place on our all-time recorded list. We should easily jump into 7th, maybe as high as 6th by the time this wraps up on Wednesday morning. And we still have 5 weeks left to go of the year to get to the all-time record. So it's within a shot. You're looking at the rainfall totals off of our computer modeling here. This is off our future track model. Anywhere from an inch to maybe 2 or pushing 2 in a couple of places. Here's the surge of rain from earlier today, more south than north across Kentucky. Now we're watching this area line up down here across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. There's actually a tornado watch up on the southern fringe of this in Arkansas at this point. You just see this big slug of rain coming right at us, and there's that new line that has developed sitting essentially right on us, which is where the front is at this point. That continues pushing north. We get you to 2 in the morning. There's the warm front, and by your morning drive, you can see pretty decent coverage of rain in the area. Again, maybe a little more north than south with this. We'll take you to 7 o'clock in the morning. There is your line of rain. Watch what happens to it as we go through the morning tomorrow. It just continues working northward. The heaviest rain maybe at that point north of I-64. There's your little bit of a lull. There's just a scattering of showers. We then take you into the latter part of the day, and then we develop a pretty impressive line of showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and that's what could be strong as we get you into the latter part of tomorrow and tomorrow night. And that is on the cold front that pushes on through. That carries us into the evening. Then it sweeps out. High pressure builds in, and that is what will take us into your holiday on Thursday when the weather looks a whole lot better. Upper 40s northern Kentucky, everybody else right around 60. It's 59 right now. In Lexington, the rain is moving back in. We can check our weather bug network. You can see some of the split there. Harrodsburg, Winchester, Stanford all at 59, but Mount Olivet's only at 51. Tomorrow we get to about 70. And with the severe threat, don't forget to check out Weather Call over at lex18.com. Areas of rain, some fog tonight. We're in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, periods of rain, thunderstorms in the afternoon near 70. Rain ends early on Wednesday, some late day sun. We're in the mid-50s. Thanksgiving looks terrific. Upper 50s and dry. More rain comes back in next weekend, and there's more LAX 18 news after this.